Hi. I hope that YouTube puts this on there, and I still have the freedom of speech and to give my opinion, right? And this isn't a conspiracy theory or anything like that. It's just my observation of things, and I've said it before on YouTube videos and things. What if it like what if it's all fake? Well, it's I have friends that are YouTubers, and I've seen things. And recently, I mean, a few weeks ago, they made a documentary and they filmed part of the Bleecker Street area of Manhattan. And there's no illegals. There's nothing but regular people. There's no homeless. There's none of the crap that we hear there is. I have a friend that travels and lives in her car basically, and she did not too long ago. Uh, 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 there's part of the Mexican border that's totally open in Arizona, and she would walk through there and say, freedom, not free, free, not free, and it's like, and there were no illegal crossings or, and she's a woman, so they're trying to tell us that this is dangerous and don't go out, and there's a whole bunch of illegals and crime and all. I you know I really haven't seen it. It's like, and there are other videos, and it's just like with COVID. No one you ever knew had it or died from it. We heard so much about it, and we heard so much bullshit about it. First, 5 million people died, and then it was like, 500,000 people died, and then it was like 500 people died, So they couldn't make up their minds, and it just seemed like the flu, that we get every year, and older people, with health problems usually die from it, and that's been since I was a kid. That happens like every year, every few years. It's like, and it's just like I said, just my observation, and you're led to believe things are unsafe, or don't go here, don't go out, don't do this, because and then again you hear about the government. They've given away so many trillions of dollars. Uh, this country really wouldn't exist with that. It would fold, under a debt weight that bad. I mean, and it's not great. The economy sucks, but it's not as bad as people say. And by people I mean mostly the U.S. government. We're basically being lied to or told, don't look here while there's something going on here. It's like the ultimate distraction and shit. Like, you hear all this bullshit about Donald Trump. What is it? Project 2025. First of all, he didn't write the book, like they say. Second of all, he hasn't read the book, like they say he has. And third of all, he doesn't agree with that bullshit, because, like, that is a book of a path to fucking communism. That's not Donald Trump's style. I'm sorry, He loves America. He doesn't like that communism shit, and nobody here fucking does. We don't fucking need that shit. And it's like, you just hear so much bullshit about everything. COVID was hyped up. It's the flu. Older people die from it, and but they blew it up and to sound all terrible, and it really wasn't that bad. It was just a thing to keep everybody in the house. Like I said, a distraction. You don't look here because this is going on over here. That's all it was. And so is this border shit. as far as I can see. So is lots of other things, and it's just totally ridiculous. And like with COVID, every time you heard about somebody dying you never knew who that person was. This person had it and died. This. I had friends, and they told me they came over, and they had a family member that had a cold or a virus, but they wore masks and everything when they came over, and I never caught it, and this was several times. I mean, my caregiver and her children would get it. Her boyfriend got it, and she still came over, and I was exposed to it and never got it because it was just the common flu, hyped up. That's what I believe. Either that or I'm strong as shit and I got a very good immune system, which I don't. I have an autoimmune deficiency disease. I have ALS from chemical exposure in the military. I'm over 60, way over 60. I'm in my 60s. And it's like, but I'm still here, and I didn't catch it and didn't have any problems with it. And, you know, and as far as I can see, well, I go out with my caregiver. I go out with Michelle. I travel with her sometimes, and if it's close by, and I've never seen any of this stuff. They make it sound like the world is so bad, America is so bad, but I I haven't seen it yet. Where is it? If it ever got that bad, we wouldn't really be here. I mean, there would be more shit going on than there really is, and it's so weird. It's like you see places like I said, Bleecker Street in Manhattan. No homeless, no nothing, just people. Lots of people. Of course, that's the way New York is. I was born in New York, and I can tell you, I was born on Long Island. So, yeah, talk about people and traffic and all kinds of shit. And now you know why I lived in Florida, raised in Florida, and then I came here. Because Orlando, Florida, well, that's kind of like New York, a little less, but, still sucked. So I live up North Carolina in the mountains, western North Carolina. So, and now you know why. I mean, you're born in one place, from the fire to the frying pan. It's like fucking ridiculous, man. That was the first thing I thought of when I retired. Was like, I am moving. I am not having a part of any of this shit. I've never been back to New York since I was born there. I've never been back. I ain't gonna go back. I just have memories of how much the place sucked. I mean, between the snow and the fucked up people and the shitty government and and the crime and everything else, fuck it. Now I live in a place that's nice and quiet. We don't have big traffic, and even the tourist season, June, July, and August, it's really not that bad. You see plates from like Florida and Georgia and things like that. All the snowbirds come here. It's like this is paradise. But then they go home when it gets colder and stuff. Because they live down in Florida or west, farther down in Georgia. Things like that. And it's a lot, but it's not that bad. I mean, for a handicapped guy, it is, because it's an extra pain in the ass on your life, on my life particularly. Because I go to the store and I expect to buy something and go through the line and get out of there and stuff. And then with tourism, you have to stand there and wait, because especially Fridays, because everybody's buying fucking beer and shit and hamburgers and stuff. So you have to stand a lot, and for me, standing that long, it just doesn't work, And by the time I get out to my car, it's like, oh, I'm a rickety old fuck with unsteady legs as it is. This sucks. but it's really not that bad. I mean, it's you expect it to be busy, and it's always been June, July, and August, even when I was a kid. It's like when I was a kid, we always came up to Maggie Valley, Twin Brook Resort, and stayed there for the last week in July and the first week in August. The hottest, just the real bad. Sometimes the heat and the humidity gets really shitty, but not near as bad as it was in Florida. So, in Florida, it's almost like Biloxi, Mississippi. It's almost like dying, going to hell, I would imagine. But it's tourism and it sucks, but it's really not that bad. Orlando, Florida, yeah, it was bad. Yeah, and New York, real bad. I mean, I was just a kid back then, and it's like, holy shit. And you're a kid, so you think like, oh, it's like fucking Los Angeles. No, Los Angeles probably wasn't that bad back then. But now, yeah, it seems that bad. Like I said, New York, I've never gone back, and I never will. So I don't fully know. But with the YouTubers that film things and do stuff, I see that stuff, and I know these people, and I go at places, like I said, with Michelle, if it's close by and stuff, I'll go with her and stay there for a couple of weeks, and I go out with my caregiver and stuff, for drives around, where we live, and farther western North Carolina, things like that. I also have done that a few times with Ashley, the girl in the office where I live, and I don't see this stuff. I don't see, crime. I don't see illegals. I don't see the open borders drenched with people, all these millions of people supposedly that are here. I've seen the tapes of her, jumping over in Arizona, right at the border where it's open, free, non-free, free, non-free, stuff like that. And a couple weeks ago, I had a friend of mine film in the Bleecker Street area of Manhattan, and like I said, you see lots of trafficking people, but no homeless, no drugs, no crime, no, they're just lots of people in a a small area with lots of people, so it makes you wonder, and it's not a conspiracy theory, like I said. It's an observance. I mean, I'm still free, my freedom of speech and my opinion and everything, and right, they talk about all this stuff and censorship and all. I really haven't seen it. I mean, Facebook, I post things, and some of the things are not nice. They're the truth, but and they're censored because of the language or a sensitive subject or something. And I can understand that and see it, and it kind of sucks. It's like having your hands tied. I'm not allowed to say anything. Fuck, this is America, isn't it? I fought for this goddamn place. But I understand it, but you don't see as much as they talk. They talk that everything is censored. You can't do this. You can't do. I've put out quite a few videos before, and they're on YouTube. And I think maybe a few of them have been censored because I have said bad things or wrong things about people, or not the truth, or didn't clarify whether it was true or just my observation and opinion. And that's what I'm doing here, is I'm clarifying that this is all my observation and opinion. So, but it's what I've seen and what I've experienced, and I've experienced none of the stuff that they're talking about, and like I said, it just seems like a distraction. Look over here while we're doing shit over here. It's just weird, and it's one of those things. You just look at these videos and you go places, and like I said, and with Michelle, she's a little rich girl. Thank God I'm married to her. because my retirement's really good and stuff, but with her money and stuff, I get to use her jet and everything and go to different countries and see how things are there. And things are quiet, and in lots of other places and places that I go to. And just scouting out places to live and be, if this country goes under with all this fucking bullshit. So but I would rather stay in America and be an American and go out to these other places for a vacation instead of just going there to live there, because America sucks and it fucked up. So, but it's really weird. You go out and you see, it's like, okay, I've heard some things in Asheville, North Carolina, which I go to the VA in Asheville, and they say, like, several exits are closed and bridges are closed, and I-40 is closed, and I have to go get on I-240 to get through to the VA for my appointment tomorrow. And but it's like minor, and like I went out and tooled around here with my car and also with my caregiver, and things don't we had a storm, and it flooded part of Maggie Valley and stuff like that. And Maggie Valley has lots of rivers and brooks and streams and all that stuff, and we have a whole lot less where I live. And but all we got was, like, maybe a foot of water in Maggie Valley. And the banks of the rivers and streams ran high, and some of them went over a little bit, but not terribly, like they say or they show. Or and it's, as far as I know, it's not really that bad in Asheville, where they claim it's really terrible. And it's just like, it's damage, yes, but it's not near as bad as they say. At least that's my experience. And I've seen and been to these places, and like I said, they're not fine. They're not the way they were. You can tell there was a storm through there, but it just doesn't seem that bad. Maybe I'm not going to the right areas, the really hit areas. Because, like I said, I'm handicapped, so I can't get to a lot, far out and stuff. And for me, it's like, paved roads and trails only. The legs don't work that well, and I'm not that adept at using the wheelchair to go out in, dirt riding and shit. So maybe I'm missing these places and stuff, but it really doesn't seem that bad. And they said, oh, in Waynesville, part of it was this, and it's maybe 3 or 4 inches of mud. Things rose up and flooded a little bit, and then they receded, and all I experienced was like high winds. We had winds of like 30 to 50 miles an hour, and they were blowing down small trees and things like that, and raising the water levels a little bit. But it's like I said, it's like COVID. It seems like they hyped it up a lot more than it really is. But I don't know for sure. So, like I said, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just my observation and my opinion. It's not fact or anything like that. But the only fact is that I'm fucking crippled and shit, and I can't go to lots of places and see things. But it's just odd that it just seems like COVID, a worldwide distraction and stuff. This seems like an America, a few states wide distraction. Look here while we do some other, or fuck shit up, or do whatever here. And it just seems weird to me. It's like and then you have things like the owner of Facebook, I won't mention any names, or him, he was he either did this stuff for the Democrats, he got paid for it or whatever, or he was forced to. We still don't really know the truth. We don't know what's going on with that, and just like lots of other things, we have no idea. And hopefully, I shed a little bit of light on shit that I've observed, and maybe other people have too, and maybe they don't have the balls or the guts to make a video about it. But I do. I'm handicapped. I'm in the apartment a lot. I do travel now and then, but not as much as you would think. Not as much as I would like to, but being handicapped really sucks. I mean, it's just an inconvenience, a pain in the ass on your life. There are lots of things, but that's why some of the things I like about YouTube and stuff, and most things I don't, because you hear all kinds of bullshit. And I haven't really experienced it, but it's one of those things that it's like someone. It's like what's that game that somebody says something and he repeats down the line, and then it comes out totally different somewhere else at the end of the line. And that's what this is like. It's like you're hearing one thing, but then you're really experiencing and seeing another thing. At least I am. Like I said, if you can go other places and things that I can. And that's one of the things I like about YouTube. I don't agree with they edit their stuff. And we're talking 4, 6, 8 hours of editing to make the video look perfect. I don't film things like that. I want people to see the real place, the real truth about it, how it really is, not if you fall down or if you drop something or if you say something bad. Fuck it, it goes on the video, because that's the way it is. I'm not going to portray a bunch of fucking lies and shit. Like that's the way I feel about editing. They're editing out the real parts of their lives, the lies. They're hyping up and making a place look much better than it really is. My favorite place was when I lived in Aberdeen, Maryland. And the next town over, Darlington, Maryland. And we had a road called Harmony Church Road, and it was a dirt road and gravel and all that stuff. And at Deer Creek Stream, or ruled by it, and it was just a very beautiful area. You had the trees, and nobody really lived out there. They lived at the farther end and stuff, where there was a church and all that stuff. But the other end, well, you had an army base on one side, but you couldn't really see anything. You couldn't see it. And then on the other side, nothing but the beauty of the nature, the woods of the creek, and the sounds and everything. And that was my favorite place. But that's why I didn't put it on. I showed it on I made a video and didn't put it out, because it didn't transfer. If I would have edited it, it probably would have been beautiful. A lie. And I just filmed it the way it was, and it really wasn't that spectacular. To me, it is, but to everyone else, it's just a dirt road with gravel on it, out in the middle of nowhere, and there's a stream that runs by you. Big shit. I mean, it is for me, but when I looked at the video, it's like, nobody's gonna like this shit, because it's the reality of it. And some places that these people go to, and they edit and make it look way more beautiful and sound beautiful, and they talk about it beautiful, and it's really not that great, and so as far as my opinion goes, you just wasted 4, 6, 8 fucking hours editing that thing to make it look good. No matter how much you dress up a pig, it's still a fucking pig. No matter how much you polish a turd, it's still a fucking turd. You know, it's like, so I don't like to edit things because, well, I want you to see and hear the truth. And the truth is who I am, my language, everything. You know, well, oh well, if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. You know, it's that fucking simple. And there is no way that I would sit there and waste 4, 6, or 8 hours of my life just editing. I want to fucking travel and do things and see things and go places, and I don't want to be fucking with editing or, you know, lose a bunch of sleep because I'm up editing. You know, it's like basically editing to me is like lying, not showing the truth, the real place. You know, it's like, and I have a bunch of friends that are on YouTube and they do this stuff, and I've been to these places and they're really not that special. You know, they're hyping it up. They're editing. They're making the place look better when it really isn't. I mean, it's like recently, I had a friend of mine go to New Jersey and hype it up. New Jersey is a fucking shit pit. You know, it's like very high taxes, lots of crime. Um, it's not the beautiful Garden State, or you know that they portray and all that. It's just like anywhere else. It's just not that spectacular. You know, some things I like about editing. You see these other countries and places in Canada and Switzerland and Sweden, and I'm sure they're hyped up, but the area seems more beautiful and stuff, and Canada seems better taken care of. I mean, they pay higher taxes for things. I mean, quite a bit. I mean, you know, I know this one person. You know, I'm a subscriber to this person, and he'll buy stuff and show you the American price and then the Canadian price. And the Canadian price is always like, you know, $3, $4, $5 higher. You know, and the first time I saw it, it's like, you know, well, and then he goes to a gas station and gets, you know, cheap gas. Oh, it's $1.30 something, but it's per liter. Do you know how much a liter is? I mean, fucking A, it's a little. So to fill his tank, you know, it's a regular car. It's like 40, $50. You know, it's like, holy shit, because it's by the liter, not by the gallon. You know, and then you'll see other places where, you know, like England and other places where it's like, you know, the imperial gallon, which is like, you know, a gallon and a half, you know, almost a gallon, over a gallon and a quarter, and it's expensive because you're getting a gallon and a half, almost a half. So yeah, sure, it costs more per gallon because you're getting an imperial gallon. Or in Canada, you look at the price and it's like, wow, they pay that $1.38, but it's per liter. So in other words, they're paying like four something for a fucking gallon. You know, it's like, so their prices are just as bad as ours, but then the taxes, and it's like, but they use the taxes to make Canada more pretty. And, you know, they don't do that here in America. You use taxes and waste them on all kinds of shit, and even more so, more bullshit that we're being told, and they're wasting our tax money on. And but like I said, my opinion, I haven't seen it. You know, things are more expensive at the grocery store, and gas is more expensive, and yes, I see that, but it's not as fucking ridiculous as they make it out to be. You know, it's higher, yes. It's, you know, kind of ridiculous. I mean, I drink, it's lactose milk, lactose for lactose intolerant people. And it was like 5 something for like a quart, you know? And now it's like $6.99 for that quart. It's like almost $7.99, $8 for a quart of that stuff now, and It's ridiculous. And eggs used to be like $2.99, and now they're like, $5.99 and shit, $4.99. It's, you know, fucking ridiculous. It's like, and yes, your taxes go up a little bit. At least here they have a little bit, but not as bad as other places. And you go to like the DMV and you get your tag every year and your sticker and all that. It used to be. See, but that's my opinion. See, that I don't know the truth about, because that was for my Chevy Equinox. It was $62, and now it's a whole lot more. But now I have a 2024 Ram ProMaster High Roof, so I can't say that. Yeah, it's more, but it's more vehicle too. But I just wonder. It's like, but in the grocery stores, yes, I do see the price. I mean, it's like you used to get like 4 or 5 bags for $100. Now you pay $150 and you get like 2 bags if you're lucky. It's like, really, holy shit. But then again, that's not going. You go to the store, I'm sure it's more, but not that bad. I have Instacart food delivery, and you have to pay delivery charges and higher taxes and this fee and that fee and all kinds of shit. And so yeah, it's a hell of a lot more, because it's so much of an inconvenience for me and my handicapped ass to go to the fucking store. And I've got the income, retirement and stuff, but still, to me it's kind of a waste of money. And I'm working out ways to, like, get downstairs to my van and go to the fucking store, because it's only like, from where I live to the store, let's see, there's a Walmart that's like, probably a mile away, and then there's a what is that store? I used to go all the way to the end of Waynesville, over by Maggie Valley and stuff, Russ Avenue, to go to Ingalls. But there's one that's like 2 miles away, or a mile and a half away from where I live. So once I handle getting down the stairs by myself and getting into that big old van and driving it by myself, and I'll go to those places and probably save more money. But still, prices are still higher than they were, and in some cases, milk and eggs, yeah, fucking ridiculous. And I can't say to fill up, gasoline. I'm sure it's more. But like I said, I used to fill up, a Chevy Equinox, and now I fill up, a huge V6, and so of course, the higher prices on the Equinox. Okay, to fill the tank a few years ago was like $22. And when I sold the car, it was like $47.50. So this Ram ProMaster, I'm sure normally it's probably like like a big pickup truck or something. It's probably 50 or $60, but now it's probably 70 or $80. Or even 90 or 90, maybe $100. But I don't know, because when I bought this van, I've used it. I've put like less than 300 miles on it, just going here and there, and I had to go to the dealer because of recall and all this shit, and a recall which I wasted my time. It was for this cable and stuff, but they didn't explain what it was for or anything. It's for police vehicles or commercial vehicles, for their radios and everything to pair with their, totally, I don't need it. So I sat there for like 2 hours, and then they come out and they throw a cable on my dashboard and say, yeah, that's it. Your recall's been taken care of. I don't even need the fucking cable, because it's not a police vehicle and it's not a commercial vehicle. That's like, so the cable is still sitting on the fucking dashboard. I took it off the dashboard and put it on the floor. That's it, because I don't need it, maybe when I sell it, if I live that long, and it goes to a commercial organization or a police organization. They've got the cable, but so I'll leave that in the van, and maybe it'll do them some good. It doesn't do me a fucking bit of good. And it was a waste of 2 hours to go over to the Dodge dealer and sit there, and then they just throw up a cable on the dashboard, and oh, you're taken care of. If they would have told me on the phone, the recall and all this shit, that it was for police vehicles and commercial vehicles only, I wouldn't have wasted my fucking 2 hours worth of my time. I would have stayed home. I don't need the cable, fuck it. And if they need it when after, if a police agency or a commercial agency buys it afterwards, I'll probably be dead. I don't fucking care. If you don't have the cable, that's your tough shit. You go sit in line for 2 motherfucking hours for the damn thing. I done already did. So. But prices have gone up, and in a lot of cases they are just like totally ridiculous. And the other thing I wanted to mention about YouTube, when they do the editing and stuff like that, I hate that part, and I've explained why. But the other parts, like they'll go on hiking trails or climb through rocks and mountains and stuff, and go to hot springs, stuff like that. That stuff is wonderful to me because I can't walk to those places. I can't get out to those places. If it isn't a solid road or a bike path or something, I can't go there. I can only dream of what it's like. I'd rather see it unedited and shit, but at least I can go there through them. I see through their eyes, and that's pleasant. That makes the handicap not a total pain in the ass and a burden. So I'm glad for those people that do, and if they hype it up and they edit it well, it's just the fact that I can see those places and sort of go there in my mind. It helps a lot with the handicapness, whereas I don't sit at home and say, woe is me, I can't go to these places or see that stuff and I have no idea what it. Yeah, I do. I just go on YouTube videos and I'll see, out in the woods and places I can't go to, and they're nice, and that's nice to to be able to at least see it in my mind. I'm going there. It's like, hey, this ain't too bad. When in reality, I could never walk or use my wheelchair to get to those fucking places, but it's nice to see them, and I can go to them, through someone else's visions, and that helps. That makes the handicap a little less of a pain in the ass and an inconvenience. It's still a pain in the ass and an inconvenience and sucks, but not quite as bad. It might for some other people who think the woe is me shit, but I was always taught not to believe that. I was a Green Beret for 22 years. It's like, yeah, you push on no matter what. No matter what gets in your way, you gotta complete the mission. You gotta do what the government tells you gotta do. It's like, and they don't go for this, your handicap, you got a problem, you got the, because you're screened for that before you go in the military. And I didn't have it until, being exposed from chemicals in the military and other factors too and stuff. So, but it's like, it's not like I'm a bound and determined, I'm a bound and determined old fuck. Stubborn, as people might say. I have a reason to be stubborn. I do want to enjoy some of my retirement and go places and see things and hang out, which I do, and I'd like to do more, but there's a little bit of hindrance on there. So, but I can see those things, and that's really great and helpful and nice, and so I'm not a total lame. I'm not a total lame ass. So, but like I said, in the military, and especially the branch I was in, you do things and you learn things and to get through things, and you still have to complete the mission and do whatever, and that makes me bound and determined, not stubborn so much, but bound and determined. It's like it's helpful in life. My whole family has died, all of them. My mother, my father, my brothers, everybody. The only ones that are left are nephews and cousins and things like that, and people that I really don't know or don't really give a shit about, you know. But my family, they're all gone except me, and that's probably where the bound and determined, stubborn as people say, shit comes in. I'm still here. I still want to be here. I still have a love of America and life and the zest of life and travel and things. And even though there's a hindrance, it's still nice to get out and do whatever. And even though it's much less than everybody else, but at least I don't have the woe is me mentality, you know? I don't think I'd ever make it with that shit. If you ask me, that's why people get older and they die, because they don't challenge themselves. They don't place themselves out of their comfort zone. They don't try things. They just want to sit around, eat shit, and get unhealthy and watch TV. You know, I fall into that trap a little bit. I do watch TV when I'm home and stuff, but I still do get out and you know, with help from others and my wife or my caregiver or friends, and you know, and I do for myself for the most part. And because my wife travels, my caregiver only comes over like once a week, so you know, it's like, and I don't need full time. You know, the VA offered me like, you know, a live-in caretaker and all this other stuff, and I told him, I says, you know, I don't need someone to care for me completely. You know, I can go to the bathroom or take a shower on my own. I can put my own ass to bed. You know, I can waddle out to my fucking TV. I don't need someone all the time. I need help because you got to take the garbage out. Well, that entails walking downstairs carrying shit. That's one thing I can't do. So when my caregiver comes once a week, that's the first thing she does is take the trash out, start my vehicle since it sits there and doesn't really do anything yet, and she goes to the mailbox for me because it's a mailbox kiosk. It's like an apartment complex kiosk. A lot of times the girl Ashley in the office gets the mail for me and brings it up to my door, and you know, she'll knock on my door and I'll open the door, and you know, my mail's right there. It's on the garbage can or on the doormat. But then the other times, you know, my caregiver, when she comes over once a week, she'll go get it for me, and like I said, get the garbage, start my vehicle, and then she'll do a little bit of light cleaning and stuff, you know, making sure my shower is all clean and my toilet, my sink, and making sure the house is all vacuumed and stuff, and changes my sheets for me when I need it. You know, it's like those things I can do, but they're a pain in the ass. I mean, just a simple changing my sheets is a total fucking chore for me. You know, it's like, because I'll fall down, I'll do it, you know, to change my sheets. I mean, for anybody else, it takes about 5 minutes. For me, it takes about a half an hour. And it's fucking ridiculous. It's a funny sight to see, let me tell you. Even I find myself laughing. It's like, you dick. Put the goddamn sheets on, you dick. And then I'll just like, fuck it. I'll sleep on the mattress and shit until Shannon gets here, and I'll ask her to fucking put the damn things on for me. And she does it in like, you know, 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's like, you bitch. I busted my fucking balls and still couldn't get it on. You know, and you come in here and you do it in 5 minutes. Get the fuck out of here. It's like, So it is. It's a pain in the ass, but you gotta look at things. And even when I was a Green Beret, you look at things with humor. Everything's kind of a joke. Everything's funny. You know, like everybody else is, oh, we're gonna die. No, we're not. We just run the other way. You know, like a bunch of fucking cowards and shit. It turned out right once. You know, it turned out right every time. You know, God was watching over us. Let me tell you. You know, there were instances where we're pinned down. We're gonna die, and I'd be like, no, we're not. We just have to fucking get out of here like a coward, man. You gotta fucking run the other way. You know, anything just to get the fuck out of here. You know, so that you and I are safe. The country, you know, we'll accomplish the mission, but maybe we have to do it in a different way now. Let's plan out better next time, which happened a few times, but most of the time the plans went off without a hitch, pretty good, worked out. But some things, yeah, that's what the military calls, the army anyway, a clusterfuck. You know, and I got, let's see, 2 of my medals from clusterfucks. You know, the Medal for Valor, which is the Medal for Honor and Bravery if you're alive. And it's like, and I told them when I got back, you get the Medal of Valor for being a fucking coward and running the wrong way to save your ass and your men's ass and doing the mission some other way. Yeah. You know, it's like the Purple Heart. Yeah, I got that for getting hurt doing what I was doing what I was supposed to do. I didn't earn that. You just fucking get it. It's like, yeah, it's like the Medal for Valor. You know, pin the goddamn thing on and get the fuck out of here. And the hell with this fucking elaborate ceremony and shit. I just want to fucking go back to the barracks, okay? You know? Clean my equipment and go home. It's like, you know, cleaning and maintenance on the equipment and then go home, you know? That's the way it was. And I feel sorry for the other guys. A few of them were married and they'd go home and stuff. But then the other ones, they had to stay at the barracks. And it's like, then you're in the army, in the military, all, you know, 24/7 basically. You know, it was much better. You go home and you've got, like, you know, a fairly normal life. You know, different lingo and terminology and all this shit. But still, you know, you're away from the military for a while. You're at home with the wife and kids, and it's a regular home. It's not the barracks with all the other guys. You know, their camaraderie and shit. And let's play pranks on the lieutenant in the middle of the fucking night. No, I live in my own apartment and shit. Off post. There will be no playing pranks on the fucking lieutenant this time. You can dream about it, you can think about it, but it ain't gonna fucking happen. If you want to pull pranks on the lieutenant when he gets to the post. Other than that, you're shit out of luck. SOL. So, but anyway, like I said, I hope YouTube puts this on. It's my opinion of things and things I've observed and my beliefs, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. But it's not the truth. It's just from what I've seen, what I've heard, and I think other people should really know that. I think that's more of the truth, not the truth, my truth. You know, it's like, but it might benefit them in some way, and there are lots of things that I hear on TV and other places that are just such bullshit. I mean, Donald Trump and Project 2025. It's like, no way. Oh, he's going to raise taxes or do this with Social Security. No, he's not. Where did you get this fucking bullshit? Oh, Camilla's going to do this and close the borders and have less taxes and bullshit. When did she ever fucking say that? I've never heard that. Have you? You know? Oh, Donald Trump was accused of January 6th, but then we find out it's all Pelosi's fault. And he had nothing to fucking do with January 6th. He wasn't even fucking there. And it's like, but he got the blame for the whole thing. And now we found out it's a lie. It was bullshit. It was the Democrats' bullshit. That's probably where they get this other shit with Project 2025 and higher taxes and all this bullshit. It's fake. Donald Trump ain't gonna do that stuff. Kamala Harris is already doing that shit. Think about it. Who do you want for the president for the next 4 years? That cunt or Donald J. Trump? And that is a fact and not my opinion or anything else. So take it for what it's worth, and maybe this will change some people's minds. Let's face it, there's a lot of dumbass Democrat motherfuckers out there, who want Harris, and Walz, the two knuckleheads, and liars, but who do you want? Who do you really want? Them and the Democrat bullshit and communism, or freedom and more money? Donald Trump. The choice is yours. Please make the right decision. I mean, you can be stupid. Yeah, free country. You can be stupid. You can vote for that dipshit and Tampon Tim, the stolen valor idiot. So or the liar, but then again, you can vote for Donald Trump, who seems to be more of the truth. I mean, of course, everybody bolsters Democrat, Republican. They come up with some fake bullshit, and everybody does, but there's less of it on the Republican side. But the rhinos sure fucking try it, and the Democrats sure fucking try it. They're bullshit. So I'm sticking with Republican. I've been Republican since Reagan and before. Hell, the only time I liked the Democrats was like during JFK and stuff, because they actually worked together. Republican, Democrat, let's come to a solution for America. But now they don't. Now Democrats are way over here and Republicans are way over here, and they really don't have anything to fucking do with each other. And the ones that are better are the Republicans. The rhinos and the Democrats kind of suck, and the regular Republicans, well, much less of, the lesser of two evils, so to speak. So who do you want? Take it for what it's worth, and that's just my opinion. The bullshit and the truth is up to you. Which do you want? Were you better off when Donald Trump was president? Or are you better off now that Camilla's spending all your tax money on these other fuckers? Think about it. And her vice president wants to put tampons in men's locker rooms. Totally unheard of. It's like, what? This shit has to be made up. It has to be BS. Hopefully, I haven't seen it. I've seen transgenders in women's sports, and I don't agree with that. It's like, no, if you used to be a guy and all you did was have your dick cut off, weightlift and shit like that, and have sports competition with other guys, not girls. They're physically not like you were, and they're just girls. Let them compete amongst themselves, other women. And we know the difference between a man and a woman, and there is none of this pronoun fucking shit, So, like I said, take it for what it's worth, and I hope this is videoed and sent out there for people to see and make their own decision about stuff, and think with your brain, not your ass or anything else, or observe things in life, and hopefully you'll come to the same conclusion as I have. It might be all hyped up bullshit like COVID was, or seemed. But the decision is yours, Democrat or Republican. Truth or non-truth. You know, it's like real or not real. Figure it out. And like I said, then make a decision. And the choice is yours.